I watched Peaky Blinders for hours trying to figure out one thing: how Thomas Shelby could walk into a room and instantly control it without saying a single word. And I found something interesting. It's not his looks, his money, or even his power. It's something far deeper, something that's wired into our psychology. So stay with me till the end, because by the time we're done, you'll understand exactly how to develop killer charisma through control and why people respect a man who barely speaks more than the one who never stops talking. Let's start with the obvious. Thomas Shelby is never loud. He doesn't shout, he doesn't rush, and he never fights for attention. Yet somehow, he owns it. There's this scene. Arthur's losing control, yelling, breaking things, pure chaos. And Tommy? He's just there, lighting his cigarette, completely still. That stillness, that calm, is what pulls everyone's focus. Psychologists call it dominance perception. It's a subconscious rule in our brain that says the one who's calmest controls the situation. Because in chaos, calm looks like leadership. Every time you speak slowly, breathe deeper, and move with intention, you signal to everyone around you that you don't just exist in the moment. You command it. Now let's get into the psychology behind it. Whenever you face stress, maybe an argument, pressure, or conflict, your body floods with adrenaline and norepinephrine. That's your fight or flight response kicking in. Most men let it take over. They yell, panic, overreact. But the men who master their emotions, they balance that chaos with dopamine, the reward chemical that creates focus. This is what neuroscientists call the calm intensity zone. You're alert but centered, strong but measured. It's what we see in soldiers, CEOs, and yes, Thomas Shelby. That's why people follow his lead, not because he forces control, but because he radiates it. To really understand this, let's compare Thomas with Arthur. Arthur reacts. Thomas responds. Arthur's fire burns everything around him. Thomas's fire stays hidden, controlled, focused, and lethal. And here's what's crazy. People respect Thomas more because he withholds. Because mystery feels powerful. Psychologically, when you speak less, move less, and emote less, people project their own meaning onto you. They assume depth, intelligence, and strength, because silence forces them to imagine what you're thinking. That's charisma, controlled self-expression. You don't have to be mysterious on purpose. You just have to master your reactions. One of my favorite examples of this is the scene between Thomas Shelby and Alfie Solomons, two powerful men, both dangerous. Alfie talks a lot. He jokes, rambles, provokes. He's chaos wrapped in charm. Thomas, he barely says a word. He listens to Weights watches. And even though Alfie talks more, it's Thomas who holds the power, because he controls the emotional tempo of the entire interaction. If the ability to stay centered when others lose balance. It's one of the rarest and most respected traits in any man. If you've ever been in a room with someone who's calm under pressure, you know exactly what I mean. You can feel it. That grounded energy that makes everyone else adjust to their pace. Here's the truth. Most men lose power the moment they lose composure. Anger might feel like dominance in the moment, but it's actually insecurity in disguise. When you explode, you hand over control to whoever triggered you. But when you stay calm, when you keep your tone steady while others shout, you immediately flip the dynamic. Control isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about redirecting it. That's why Thomas Shelby can be furious and still speak like he's reading poetry. He's not emotionless. He's emotionally disciplined. And that discipline is magnetic. Now, let's make this practical. How do you actually build that level of presence in real life? Here's the modern gentleman method. When you're stressed, your breath gets shallow, and people can feel it. Slowing your breath lowers your adrenaline and instantly projects calm. Don't rush to fill every gap. The man who's comfortable with silence is the man everyone listens to. Speak slightly slower and deeper. Calm tone equals credibility. Someone insults you? Pause. Look at them. Smile slightly. That pause alone shifts all the power back to you. Every one of these habits tells the world, I'm not controlled by emotion. I control emotion. That's how Thomas Shelby turns composure into charisma. When you practice control consistently, something amazing happens. People start feeling your presence before you even speak. This is what I call the Shelby aura. It's the unspoken signal that says, I know who I am and I'm not trying to prove. You walk slower, your gestures become deliberate, and your voice starts carrying a weight that demands attention. That's not ego, it's earned calm. And once you reach that level, charisma stops being something you perform. It becomes something you are. Here's something few people talk about. Restraint is the secret ingredient to magnetic presence. Think about it. Every memorable man in history, from Thomas Shelby to Bruce Wayne, keeps part of himself hidden. Not out of manipulation, but because self-restraint creates curiosity. When you reveal everything, you lose intrigue. But when you hold back just enough, you invite imagination. And imagination is what keeps people drawn to you. That's why Thomas Shelby doesn't overshare, overreact, or over-explain. He leaves space space, and people fill it with fascination. So remember, charisma isn't about showing more. It's about showing less and meaning more. Here's what you need to remember. Charisma isn't about attention. It's about energy management. It's the ability to stay steady while others spiral. That's what draws people to you. That's what creates respect that doesn't fade after the conversation ends. So from now on, don't try to impress people. Influence them, not through volume, but through presence. Not through reaction, but through restraint. Because in a world full of men trying to be heard, the man who stays silent and still wins the room is the one they remember.